No human being is perfect. That means we should always endeavor to improve ourselves and correct our mistakes. And we are supposed to learn from what we see unfolding before our very eyes and from the lives of those who have come before us. If one is able to do this, then reaching our goals and succeeding becomes much easier. Now, one area that trips up very many people, and indeed it has taken me very many years to learn this lesson, is the area of understanding how to handle authority. Yes, it may be a very boring topic, and indeed by our very nature, we hate the word authority. No one wants any authority over them. We would prefer to do what we like and what we desire. Now, I've covered this topic before on this channel. But today I would like to look at it in the context of our current politics. Now, recently, during the launch of the BBI at Bomas, at one point, the audience chanted at the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, "Respect the President, respect the President." Now, let us start by appreciating the fact that the entire audience at Bomas was Team Kieleweke, pro-BBI, staunch supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. That is a fact. Let us also appreciate the fact that as things stand now, this very minute, William Samoei Ruto stands the highest chance of being our next president. That too is a fact. And bearing that fact in mind, there's something that needs to be urgently corrected in the camp of the Deputy President. And it has to do with what the crowd at Bomas were chanting. But the reason why I've taken time to make this video is not for the sake of the Deputy President's camp, because I believe they'll completely ignore the content of this video. It is mainly for the sake of the rest of us that we learn something from this to improve our own lives and situations. And also for those who want to make political predictions, to make them very accurately. Because the truth is, spiritual laws have never changed and they will never change. And using them, you can comfortably make very accurate, lesser accurate predictions of what is going to happen in the future. Now, the spiritual law here is that if you don't handle the authority over your life with care, it will have dire consequences on your future life. Consequences that you cannot avoid, never ever, because as long as you're on this earth and you're human, even if you ignore spiritual laws, you're subject to them and they will affect your life, whether you like it or not. Let me give you an example. The first authority we all come under is the authority of our parents. And this example is specifically for our purposes today. I know this man who had parents who were illiterate, and he handled them very carelessly. And he ended up living a life where there was constant rebellion against him, and for no good reason. He handled the authority over his life, his parents, carelessly, and therefore those who ended up under him also handled his authority carelessly. And it didn't make a difference that he was very strict. His children rebelled against him. His first wife rebelled against him. In a most horrible manner. She was unfaithful to him. And she passed on and he remarried. And his second wife was even worse, in being unfaithful to him and rebellious. And even in politics, one has to be very careful how they handle the authority over them. Because if they're not careful, even if they take over the position of their boss one day, they're going to have problems because the spirit of rebellion is still active in their lives, triggered by themselves. It is very predictable that they're going to have huge problems with those under their authority. And don't harass the messenger. I'm not the one who made the rules. Yeah, the spiritual laws exist. They existed long before I was born. They existed since the beginning of time. And it is also a spiritual law that the way you handle your authority will determine how much authority you yourself will be able to exercise under that authority. I believe we have clearly seen that in our current political situation in the country. We have no idea what happened between the president and his deputy, but we have seen, everybody knows, that the deputy president these days is not able to exercise much authority. Go to any family, even if the children are very small, and you will quickly be able to make a distinction between the children that have the most authority in that home and the ones that don't. And many times age is not even a factor. Bottom line, whatever the situation, it is not a good sign when people have to tell you to respect your boss. And even if you taught your boss everything he knows, it doesn't matter. Even if you know more than your boss, it still doesn't matter. The spiritual law stands. Let's look at another example. In the kingdom of the devil, there is a hierarchy of authority. Indeed, nothing can operate successfully without a hierarchy of authority. However, there is constant rebellion. If you didn't know this, do your research and you'll realize that the devil's kingdom has constant rebellion. Why? The answer is simple. Their leader had the same problem. Indeed, they still have it. They were once under the authority of Almighty God in heaven. And then they rebelled. They failed to treat the authority over their lives with care. I believe this example will also enable those of us who are spiritually alert to understand why Almighty God takes rebellion against authority very seriously. It is not something we can push under the carpet or ignore. At least we can't do that without serious consequences. And so, from this day on, I urge you, treat the authority over your life with great care. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.